I'm actually recording this video. Fuck, I'm talking in my high-pitched voice. I'm nervous. Let me do this again. Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm back. Another podcast episode. I'm gonna just put this out here. I usually say this at the end of every episode to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow the podcast, whatever crap. I always leave that to the end, but I'm going to say it now because I'm so close to hitting 1,000 followers on Spotify. And so if you want to be one of the last few to hit the 1,000 for me, I would love that. But if you don't want to, I would still appreciate you for listening in the first place. I didn't pay attention to the numbers for the longest time, and then just last week I was like, oh, I should look at my analytics because you're supposed to. And I was like, oh shoot, I'm like so close to 1,000, and it would be really freaking awesome to hit it. Actually, I think a lot of you guys don't know that this is on Spotify, also Apple Podcasts. I put this in the description, but I don't really talk about it till the end. So yeah, just wanted to self-promo myself for a little. But before we get into the topic of the episode, which is my favorites from the past 6 months of the year, this is my last in the series of halfway through the year reflections and crap. These are my favorites that I've been loving. But anyways, Hello Buffalo. So starting with the high, I was going to say something basic like seeing my mom and family and my dog, but I'm gonna not be basic and say that my high is the fact that I was able to address an itch I had. So there is this one week before I went back to Los Angeles, I noticed that my room, there was something off in my room and I didn't know what it was. I realized what it was the art and my bedspread and just like the furniture in my room just wasn't matching well, and it felt very barren. And I was like, okay, I think I need some more art on my walls, but I didn't want a collage situation because I felt like that was just not the vibe. And I was thinking, okay, this is like pretty high ceiling and I have pretty blank walls. I could totally get a large art piece. And so I searched Facebook Marketplace. I literally went to a junkyard, and I vlogged all of this, so you guys will see the process later. But yeah, I searched for this entire day to find an art piece because I was like, this is going to irritate me. Do you guys ever have those? Whenever I ask you guys questions, I feel like I'm in Dora the Explorer, where she would ask the audience questions, but no one would answer. But anyways, yeah. But do you guys ever get that where you just have like, it's not even reasonable. Is that an OCD? Like you just like have to address the itch or else you're going to lose your mind. And so I was like that whole day searching for art and I couldn't find anything that I liked, or it was just too out of my budget. So I was like, okay, I'm going to paint my own piece. And I finally spent like 8 hours to do it. And my piece is up on the walls in my room and you guys will see it soon. And I'm just so happy it's there because it makes the room feel way bigger. It makes the room feel less like a hospital and just like a random place where furniture exists. With my low, I went home, as you guys knew, and a huge part of that, and trigger warning, eating disorders. When I'm home, it's really hard for me to control my eating because I'm not the one making food, and my family, well, in Asian culture, it's very disrespectful to turn down food when somebody gives it to you. It's also disrespectful and just wrong to waste food. There's a lot of pressure that I feel when it comes to eating, when, eating should be like something not that big of a deal, but for me it is a sensitive spot that stresses me out every time I go home. And this time it was just really rough again. I felt a lot of guilt for some reason coming home this time. I think I ate, not even exaggerating, at least like 1,000 calories per meal because I was just stuffing my face. And my family meant well in giving me so much food and being like cooking all these different meals and being like, oh, you're never gonna have this in New York and you can't make this for yourself, so eat it here. So I was like, okay, and like I would eat, but I really did not want to, and I would just get to the point of wanting to throw up every single meal, and it was just so uncomfortable. It was really rough to get through, and it's something that I definitely need to work on. Okay, so for my buffalo, the really weird thing that happened when I went home was that my family was just openly talking about me doing tattooing. And it's just so awkward and weird for me. But they're taking it so well, which I'm really surprised about. And like, it used to be a very like taboo thing to talk about in my family. And especially when I started getting my first tattoos, they were really not okay with it, and I would always beat around the bush and try to avoid that kind of conversation topic. Now my mom just brings it up randomly in conversation. My grandma was curious about it. She was like, oh, like how much do you make? How many clients do you have? And it was really sweet, and it was just super cool. And I felt the most comfortable I've ever felt going home, like being more myself, because I didn't have to hide this part of me. And so I'm really grateful for that. And it was just really weird. I think I'll be more used to it next time I go home, but this time it was really a shock. Okay, let's get into the video. Okay, my favorites from the past 6 months. My favorite drinks, let me just say, I'm a pretty consistent person. And so when I have favorites, they're usually favorites for life. I don't really change them from season to season. And I like to try new things, but I usually still stick with my favorites. The favorites that I'm talking about in this part are new ones that I haven't really talked about as much in the past. So, for example, I still am obsessed with getting an oat latte all the freaking time, but I'm not going to say it in this video just because I've said it before and it's just like a basic for me. And so this is like the net new things because of the time of year. Okay, starting with the drinks, I've been obsessed with matcha lemonade, especially because it's been warmer more recently, and I don't like how milk sits in my stomach when it gets really warm, and I'm sure most of you guys are the same way. And so I like to get matcha lemonade as the alternative, and it's been way more refreshing. I'm just like a big fan of citrusy flavors, and so matcha lemonade always hits the spot. And especially the matcha lemonade where the matcha comes through more strongly, like a strong green matcha lemonade. I'm not talking like light green watered down matcha lemonade. I'm talking strong green. The matcha has to be very potent in the drink. I also recently discovered Phil's coffee beans, and I've gotten Phil's coffee before. Don't know if this is a West Coast thing or a California thing, but I know for sure they don't have it in the East Coast. So sorry about that. If you're outside of the US, I'm so sorry. But if you ever do visit and you do go to California, I know it for sure it's in California, and they have this chain called Phil's Coffee. I usually get their signature drink whenever I go, but this time I noticed that they were selling their coffee beans, and I decided to get a basic black coffee, and it was so good. So there's this Phil's Coffee, and I'm going to put it on the screen, the exact one that I'm obsessed with, that has a warm, cozy hazelnut, like nutty kind of blend, and it actually comes through. I'm not just saying this because I'm like a connoisseur of coffee and I can taste the like refined notes of like a certain flavor. This is straight up hazelnut coffee beans, and it is so stinking good. And I'm on my second massive bag now, and I'm like a huge fan. So whenever I go home and I'm almost finished with the bag, I'm gonna definitely get my third bag. Yeah, it's just been super good. It's been my go-to coffee bean at the moment. Maybe you guys can order it though. So if you can't visit California, I would recommend ordering it if they do delivery. All right, so next is food. I had this huge obsession, I think from January till April, with chicken noodles soup, but a specific brand, and it came canned. I got it from Costco and it was actually pretty inexpensive, but I was obsessed with it because it was low calorie and high protein, and it was just super comforting because it was freezing cold outside. I just loved eating it. It was like such a simple meal. I just used the entire can, and I think it gave me like 20 grams of protein, and it was like 200 calories. I think that's the number, but like that's insane. And I needed the protein because I'm just like one of those girls that just don't get enough of it. And so this was a really easy, quick way for me to get all the protein I needed. Also, for food, oh my God, guys, I don't know what it is, but when I was younger, I didn't really eat papaya or figs. But all of a sudden, since the end of last year till now, every time I see a papaya or a package of figs, I cannot resist. Like, I have to get the papaya. I have to get the figs. The only time I won't get it is if the figs or papaya are like insanely expensive or if they look really disgusting. But I've bought like a $20 papaya, so that is pretty expensive. What the hell is happening with this lighting? Every time I see them, I just cannot leave the store without them. I always have like a thought, and there's times where I try to leave the store without buying them, and I always end up turning around and going back and picking them up. The next category is beauty. I've been using this Korean hair treatment that I got from my hairstylist, and he was just like, oh, you should just check this out. I'll give it to you for free. And this is when I went to go dye my hair. And this treatment, it's not a conditioner. I don't know what it's made out of, but when you put it in your hair, even like the smallest bit, it just detangles all of your hair. And so I put it in my hair and I leave it for like 10 minutes. And I don't even know I don't know how, but when I put it in, my hair so smooth and detangled, it's like I just brushed it. I actually don't understand what it's made out of. I can't read the label, but I'm going to put a picture here because I actually don't know what it's called. I've also been using a microfiber face cloth. Before I got this face cloth, I used to dry my face with the same body towel. I was concerned about whether or not it was breaking me out, and so I bought a microfiber face cloth. The microfiber texture is really gentle on your face. I bought this and I think it's helped a lot with preventing acne on my face, and it's actually been super good. So I actually have 2 towels now, actually 3, a hair towel, a face towel, and a body towel. Next in the beauty category is the Merit blush. So this is not sponsored. This video in particular is not sponsored, but I have been sponsored by them before. But out of the products that they've sent me, my favorite is the Merit blush. I'm a big convenience, do things quick kind of person because I got a lot of things going on. So I don't want to spend too much time getting ready when I could be doing other things. And the Merit blush has been one of the most helpful things. Most days I'm wearing full face makeup, and the Merit blush is this balm that you open and you just literally smear it across your face, and it just like creates a blush. And normally I use blush from the Glossier Cloud. I forgot what it's called, but it's from a tube. And I love that stuff. Like, I'm never gonna not have it in my bag, but still it's not as convenient as the Merit blush because you're literally just rolling it on, and then I step out and I'm like, okay, I'm done. And it's so convenient, so quick, and you can roll it on like multiple times to get it really potent, and just once if you just want a really light, subtle blush. But I've been loving it because it's so quick and convenient. Next category is fashion. To spice up my looks, especially the summer and spring, I've been wearing hats and glasses as an accessory. Actually, also in the winter, I was wearing hats a lot. If you have a really boring outfit, if you just add glasses, it kind of makes it a little bit cooler. And a hat, it also adds to the outfit and gives some pop of color or just something else that you can color match to, which I've been loving. And also I've been using art objects and just my tattoos that I'm doing for the day as inspiration for my outfits. One time I did a very edgy tattoo, and so I dressed in a more edgier outfit, things like that. And it's been kind of cool. It's a really quirky and like unique way to spice things up with your outfit. Next category is books. My battery died, and that's why the lighting is different. I'm sorry, that was just so gross. It was a silent burp, so you didn't hear it. Books and entertainment. So I haven't had a lot of time to watch or read many things, but I do have one short book to recommend. It's called Heating and Cooling by Finelli, and it's a short book with a bunch of short stories. It's actually super quirky. A bunch of stories from when she grew up, and they're really funny. And it's just a really good light read, which I feel like is perfect for the spring and summer times. So I really liked reading it in the spring. And also in this category, there's two YouTubers that I've been so obsessed with this year. And it's Iwana Crystal and Amali Star. They are just so freaking funny. There's a lot of vloggers out there that do, lifestyle content and they just talk through their day. But these two YouTubers, they are just so entertaining. It's like watching a TV show in a way. Every single time that they upload, without a fail, I will watch their video. So I've watched everything. And I also, when I watch them, guys, I don't even do anything else. I know that I have to sit down for their video and just fully pay attention, because it's not that kind of content where you're going to get bored. You literally are so engaged during the entire thing. It's so good. Anyways, next is songs and music. And I don't know what it is this year, but every single artist has released some album and it's been so good. So I've been listening to so much good music from different artists. We have Beyonce's album.
16 carriages driving away while I watch them ride with my dreams away to the
Dominic Fike's new album.
You get scared, you get lied to. I'm not fool, tattoos. Any minute we might talk to.
Woozy's, I don't even know. Woozy's album, I don't know if it came out this year, but I just discovered it this year. It's called Love Seat.
baby, you got me going crazy on my mind.
That album, so good. Billy's album.
I said you were the love of my life.
Mwah. Literally, it cannot. Claro's album. I love that album. I don't know what she was on when she made this one, but it's like a dream. I feel like I'm in one of those romanticized movies where you're running through a field and everything's glowing. That is how I feel when I listen to that album.
We can go wherever we want. The plains are in the soul, the door. You can say whatever you want.
So these albums have been getting me through this year. I also love listening to Bennett Coast. I don't know if he released a new album this year, but just his music in general has been a huge favorite of mine for spring and summer.
And if it all depends in every way, then I can't promise anything to you.
I've been listening to a lot more music as a form of entertainment this year because I can do so while I'm tattooing and while I'm preparing for a lot of YouTube videos and things like that. Okay, finally, this is tech and miscellaneous things. First is travel cubes. So I bought these travel cubes from Away. They're pretty expensive, but I really wanted good quality ones so that they would last forever. I'm somebody that really uses my bags. So if I have like any type of bag, whether it is a makeup bag, a tote bag, whatever it is, I destroy them. I stuff way more than I should be stuffing in them. And so they don't last if they're not good quality. And that's why I got these really expensive and they seem really good quality travel cubes, because I've like stuffed so many things in them and they haven't, ripped or anything like that. Knock on wood. Yeah, so I got these travel cubes and they've been amazing. I've been traveling a lot and I put them in my duffel bag. I use them in my luggage, but I also have been using them just as regular storage containers. And it's nicer because instead of having a hard case that is more like restrictive, I can use a fabric cube that lets me like put more items in. So I've been using that in my actual closet right now when I'm not traveling to store my underwear, my bras, and whatever. And actually they saved me this time because when I flew from LA to New York on Wednesday, I actually had this bottle of hair treatment and it exploded during the flight because of the air pressure, and it got all over my travel cubes. And I panicked when I saw that because it was literally so much product. I was like, there's no way my clothes are okay. But these travel cubes are waterproof and like, I don't know, they're just really well made, so nothing seeped through. And my clothes were fine. And all I had to do was wipe off the product from the outside of the cubes. And it was just so nice. I'm so glad I used them because it would have been such a hassle to have to do my laundry all over again. Another thing, this is for my girls. If you don't use an app right now to track your period, or if you're using one that you're not in love with, I would highly recommend the app Clue. I'm like spitting everywhere. It shows you what's going on in a calendar format, and you can see when you ovulate and when you had your period, but in a monthly calendar format. So it's super easy for me to predict when my next period is coming, and they also provide prediction dates for your next period based on all the inputs that you've put in so far. I think this app has been my favorite that I've used so far. I think I've used 4 now, and I've tried the Apple Health app, which was not user friendly for period tracking. I think a man made that part of the app. I was like, how do I even use this? But anyways, finally, I bought this a really long time ago. I stopped using it after like a few months for some reason. During COVID times, I wanted to go to coffee shops all the time so that I can get out of the house. And when I would go to coffee shops, I would use my portable laptop charger, which lets you charge your laptop fully from 0 to 100%. And I think it lets you charge your phone 3 times, which is insane. It's this brick and it's heavier than, a phone portable charger, but it does the job for freaking charging larger devices, which is exactly what I need and I love. And I've been using it for my camping trips so that I can charge my camera stuff and phone, and I only need 1 battery pack and it charges them all. I would highly recommend it if you're a traveler and if you're somebody who goes to coffee shops and doesn't want to make sure that the place has outlets, or if you're somebody who loves camping and does a lot of overnight trips or backpacking trips or whatever in the wilderness where there isn't, an accessible outlet. I would highly recommend getting this because it is so useful. That is everything for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and you guys try out something from this list. If you guys have favorites, please drop them down below because I would love to know what products I should be trying, foods I should be trying, drinks I should be trying. I would love to try them and maybe they'll end up in my next favorites video. But yeah, thank you guys so much, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. All good things. And please, if you're listening to this on Spotify and you're not following me, but you've listened to multiple episodes of mine, what are you doing? Follow. You can be the 1000th follower. But anyways, have the best week, and yeah, bye!